2,499 confirmed cases of the coronavirus in New York State. Our next guest tested positive for COVID-19 and joins us via Skype in quarantine. Welcome, New York Congressional candidate George Santos. George, great to see you. How are you feeling right now?
Good to see you, David. Thank you for having me. Well, I'm in recovery, right? So it's been a long 8 days for me here, and I can't wait to get out of here.
What were your first symptoms, George?
It started last Monday, runny nose, body discomfort, and it rapidly escalated throughout Tuesday. And by Wednesday, I was peaking a 102.5 fever. That's what really led me to call the hotline, which instructed me to call 911, and ambulance came, picked me up. It was a rather quick process, 4 to 5 hours at the hospital in isolation. They tested me and shipped me home.
You never had to go on a respirator? You didn't have breathing problems that bad?
Not to the point that I had to go on a respirator. Despite having acute bronchitis, I'm 31, so I championed it out pretty well.
Good.
It was a rough couple of nights with the fever not going down, so it was pretty hard to stay a little sane, if we're going to be honest. But yeah. Other than that, by Friday evening, the fever had broke, and Saturday morning, I got the confirmation of being COVID-19 positive.
And George, do you know how you got it?
I believe, and I'm not blaming anybody, but I believe it was CPAC. I was very exposed at CPAC, shook a lot of hands, did a lot of interviews. I was campaigning. I was back and forth between the venue and other destinations in D.C., a lot of meetings that day. So I strongly believe it was during my visit to D.C. for CPAC.
The CPAC, the Conservative Political Action Committee. How have you been getting food and stuff that you need from the outside?
To be very honest, I've been actually using a lot of the delivery apps to order food from restaurants. They drop it in my door. I tell them to walk away. I pull in the food almost like a hermit and spray it with Lysol.
How about exercise? We just talked to Dr. Oz saying that you should keep that up. Have you been able to do any of that?
Look, I live in a New York City apartment right here in Queens, and all I can say is that I'm going to put holes on these floors.
You do a lot of walking in small circles. You got a great attitude, by the way, George. I do want to ask you, you're in politics. Are you going to be well enough to go out and campaign? The election's coming up in November.
Well, doctor's orders is stay put, stay home until the 3rd. They're going to retest me the 3rd. If it comes back negative, they'll retest me again on the 5th. And if it comes back negative, I'm a free man. Reality is I'm a free man, but I don't know if I can have a reoccurring and a second contraction of the coronavirus. So we're going to be there's going to be a lot more of caution throughout the remainder of this election cycle. I don't think there's going to be a lot of traditional campaigning going on, at least not for the latter part of the summer.
And finally, George, you're a conservative Republican, but I bet you, like a lot of conservative Republicans, were cheering on Governor Cuomo when he slapped down Mayor de Blasio's call for shelter in place, no?
Best day of my life.
What do you think is going to end up? Do you think the governor's going to stick to his guns on that?
Well, I'll put it this way. Governor Cuomo, along with Governor Gavin Newsom in California, have praised the president of the United States, which, you know, it comes at an awe to all of us, which we all have to condemn the president. This isn't a Democrat or a Republican issue. This is an American issue. Right. And guys like Mayor Bill de Blasio are trying to further his political agenda, along with Senator Chuck Schumer. So shame on them for politicizing Americans' health.
Yeah, but Governor Cuomo definitely did not, and he's working with the president. It's nice to see the two guys from different parties working so well together. George Santos, great to see you doing so well. Quick recovery to you. Thank you, George.